This video is to help teach about data or data. We talk about mean, median, mode, and range. We're going to start with mean, which also means average. So if anybody ever says find the average, they mean find the mean. The thing I like to remember about mean is that it's kind of mean to do because you have to do more work than the others. In order to find the mean, you need to add all your numbers together, and then you're going to divide by the amount of numbers you added together. So here's our first example. If they ask you to find the mean of these four numbers, the first thing you need to do is add these four numbers together. So I know 3 and 5 is 8, so 8 plus 8 is 16, and then 16 plus 4 is 20. My next step is I'm going to count how many numbers I added. Here's 1, 2, 3, 4. I added 4 numbers, so that means I need to divide by 4. I think in my head, 4 goes into 20 5 times. So the average of this set of numbers is 5. Let's try this one, because sometimes you find the average of test scores. So we're going to pretend these 3 kids had a test score of 93, 92, and 97. So I'm going to add these together. And I get 282. So now I have to think, how many numbers did I add together? Here's my first number, my second, and my third. So I'm going to divide by 3. 3 doesn't go into 2, but 3 goes into 28 9 times. 9 times 3 is 27. I'm going to subtract and bring down, and 3 goes into 12 4 times. I don't have anything left over, so it's a whole number, not a decimal attached. So the average, or the mean, for these 3 numbers is a 94%. The next term we want to talk about is median. The median is the middle number. So when you get a set of numbers, you're going to want to place them in order from biggest to smallest, and then find the middle number. So an example would be, if I have these numbers, I'm going to place them in order. So I have 6, then 10, then 12, then 13, then 15. And I like to kind of do a cross-out method. I take one from the front, one from the back. One from the front, one from the back. And the median, or the middle number, would be 12. Sometimes you're only given an even amount of numbers. So you can still find the middle number here. I'm going to put them in order again. 6, 10, 12, 13, and I'm going to cross off. If you have 2 numbers in the middle, you're going to add them together, and then you're going to divide by 2. So it's kind of like we're finding the average of the middle 2 numbers. So 10 plus 12 would be 22, and then I'm going to divide it by 2, it'd be 11. Our medium of those numbers is 11. Mode is the one that occurs most often. And that's how I remember it, I think. Mode, which number occurs most often? So you might get numbers like this. And I would just look for repeating numbers. The 6 is repeated, so that would be our mode. If there's nothing repeated, then you don't have a mode. But you can also have more than one mode. So say there was another 8 here. There's 2 8s and 2 6s. My mode can be 8 and 6. And the last one is the range. In order to find the range, you're going to place the numbers in order, and then you're going to subtract the first number and the last number, or the biggest number and the smallest number. You're trying to find how much this set of numbers encompasses. So I'm going to first put these in order, and I'm going to take my biggest number and subtract my smallest number. 10 minus 3 is 7. So my range, the range of these numbers is 7. So let's try a set real quick. 3, 10, 7, 7, 6, 5. Let's try that. First, I'm just going to put them in order because a lot of them need to be in order, and so I'll already be ready. Let's start with mode, the number that occurs most often. If you can see in this row that 7 occurs twice, so that's going to be my mode. I can also find the range when it's in order. I would take the biggest number and subtract the smallest number, so I think 10 minus 3 is 7. Our range is also 7. Let's look for the median. I'm going to kind of cross off as I go. One from the end, one from the beginning. And now I'm stuck with these two middle numbers. So if you remember, I'm going to add them together. Oops. And then I'm going to divide by 2. 6 plus 7 is 13, and I got to divide by 2. 2 goes into 13 6 times. 6 times 2 is 12. And this is where you get that decimal so we can bring down the 0. 2 goes into 10 5 times, so my median is 6.5. And I'm going to clear some space real quick to find the mean. The mean is the average, so I'm going to add all these numbers together. 3 and 7 make 10. So there's 10, 20, 27, 33, 38. I'm going to divide by how many numbers there are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 goes into 38 6 times, and I get 36. I'm going to subtract, and I get 2. And I know I'm going to need a decimal, so I'm going to put some zeros down. I'm going to drop my 0. 6 goes into 23 times. I get 18. Subtract, drop down another 0. 3 times, and we know that's just going to be repeating and repeating. So my mean for these numbers is 6.33. Thank you for listening.